Hi, as part of this year's Triumph Challenge, TSOA engaged a film crew. I hope you enjoy this video that was done for us. It's a small explanation of what we did. It was a big deal. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks, bye.
Good question. Multiple answers. Why get involved with the club in the first place? One, because there's support. Why get involved with Triumphs for a model that's a make of car that's no longer made? Try and answer it myself, but I have never found a definitive answer. With all generations, they have, I suppose, an affiliation with their first vehicle.
We had a comment from one of the interstate people saying it's a long way to go for one day. And yes, it is. I thought, why don't we make it a 2-day event? Winton Racewy has a skid pan associated off to one side. We thought we'll hire the skid pan and do a motorcana. We invited the car club for a show and shine.
It's A grade, sort of B minus. C+.
A bit of driver training. The whole weekend is really the Triumph Challenge, but the Sunday is the competition on the track. My name is Michael Kipp. A lot of people call me Kippy. I'm the competition secretary of TSOA Victoria. I've been a member of TSOA for just over 10 years now.
Triumph cars, they started with the TR2, the TR3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So there was a generation from the late 50s all the way through to the early 80s.
The guy with his elbow leaning on the car. Yes. There's only 25 of those made, and I think there's 2 of them in Australia. So that's a very special car. Show these ladies your car.
This is a 1964.
It's a very unique car. Triumph TR4 was converted back in the day with a fixed roof. It adopted the name from the dealer of a Dove. There was only ever 43 made back between 63 and 65. This car was the only one imported new into Australia in 65. There's one other that came in second hand. And of the 43, we know about 25 left in the world.
Triumph Spitfire, which is a smaller car, and a GT6, which is a fastback. Comfortable touring car is the Triumph Stag. So one of the beauties of the Triumph range is they made so many different cars, and they all had different features. And so there's a car to suit everyone's needs.
I bought this car back in 2009 and then did it all, apart from the engine. A racing friend of mine, Chris Swingler, turned this thing into a bit of a rocket ship.
Our club, there is a strong emphasis on the car racing side of it, But part of our club motto is the restoration of vehicles as well. My name's Larry Mundell and I bought this car 3 years ago. I bought it from a gentleman who was in his early 80s and he bought the car brand new in 1980. It's one of the Pro Series cars, which back in 1980 and 1981 there was a dedicated Triumph TR7 race series, been upgraded to a 3.9 litre Rover engine. And he actually repainted it. It was originally a fairly horrible brown colour, had the 2 litre motor which would have been worn out at that stage, so when it came to the end of its life he spent a lot of money on it, made it into the car you see now. I can't take credit for the paint job and all the rest of it, he did that.
Got the car back in 2017 I think it was, and it had been in storage for 20 years. When I got it home I thought I could do a very quick restoration, get it back on the road. 4.5 years later, after I'd stripped it down to its last nut and bolt, what we call a ground up restoration, body off the chassis, I'm still, I guess, shaking it down. It's a new old car, if you like. You know, even people with Triumphs who've seen them, known them for years, see this car and go, we've never seen one. May not even know what it is, you know, so that's its uniqueness. Well, my name is Keith Atherton. Currently I'm the event and social secretary. I organise the club runs, monthly runs, and some other special events. As you know, this is the skid pan area, which this is our first time to be here. Normally say we're on the track. We have achieved the Victorian Government grant for training, trying to get new people into training, especially with, you know, trying to get ladies and girls and younger drivers, come and train them how to handle their car, primarily safety training, how to handle skid. This is what we're doing with the skid and the swerving. So the aim of trying to get some of those people to progress a bit further and prepared to go out on the track. On track, come and try it.
Oh, hi.
This has become a hugely important event of the calendar year for TSOA Victoria. We've got a full grid of Triumphs and we're hoping that this will grow and turn into a multi-state sort of event. There's a broad spectrum of people. I've got a friend out there, Warwick, who's in his TR4. He drove 300 and something kilometres to get here. And he's 80 something, I think, and he does that sort of thing on a regular basis because he likes to join in with the club.
It'll do 110 kilometres an hour. It's a 2.2 litre 4-cylinder. They don't do it like that anymore. There's no power brakes, no power steering, no airbags, no seatbelt originally, but it does have big disc brakes, but they're not power assisted. Front is like that because it was a rally car. Yes. My brother and I rallied this with some success in the 1970s. And I've never bothered to replace the bumper bars.
And he'll go out and flag on the flag station and then drive home.
So I didn't put my car in it because my car's British country, because it was used as a race car, but these haven't.
Joining in the fun of the show and shine, and thank you very much to the judging subcommittee who did a great job. In third place,
Alan Andrew.
TCC Vina White Stat. Normally you have a thing called like a Concours d'Elegance or a Concours Originality, which are very big events. A lot of preparation, a lot of work. You know, people polish everything. Well, the show and shine, what we've just completed, it's for other people who are just going to come and look. This idea, given the weather, if we just get the cars or spectators to come up for the day, bring your car up, we will go along and have a judging session, not too serious, and just to give them an idea where their car stood against an equivalent, maybe give them some encouragement to go and do a bit more, maybe touch the paint up or fix some other things. It was more of a fun event for the spectators to get involved with. I have to say, I came second.
Keith Atherton with 88 points.
Oh, well done, Keith. Thank you, that's what I need. And in first place with 92 points,
Don Robertson,
the TR7. Just thank Don. Don put the hard work in for these trophies. Thanks very much again, Don. No worries. Anytime. Thank you very much. Thanks for your attendance. Thank you.
Fastest of the day, and that goes to Scott. Best recovery from a spin, Dwayne. Most improved in the day, Sam. Best effort for giving it a go, Gabby. Well done. Most impressive spin goes to Josh.
I'd just like to say thanks to the Triumph Club for holding today. I hope everyone's learned a lot, improved their skills out on the road and comes back for some more.
But I want to thank also all of the other members of the Triumph Club for organising everything to make it a success today. But I want to thank you all for coming.
You don't need sponsors, you've got sponsors.
Yeah. Well done. Big day tomorrow, and good luck.
Competition. That's it. Here, because I'm a competitive person, I want to go faster, and these are fastest guys in Triumphs in Victoria, I think. So if I can mix it with them, I'm very pleased.
Well, this is a relatively new event, the All Triumph Challenge, developed and perfected by Michael Kipp and his team of competition people, who came up with this formula to figure out who's actually going to win the event, because it's not actually based on speed, it's based on a fairly specific formula about your fastest time during your qualifying session. I think how close you drive to that time consistently. Some maths involved, and I'm not good at maths, so I couldn't tell you how it works.
You want to get your times close together as much as possible. When we do the state racing, that's a proper race where you've got to qualify and go out and try and beat other ones. And although you've got friends here, at race time that's different.
My name's Neil Martin, I'm from Adelaide, a member of the TSOA Club of South Australia. I'm the competition secretary for our club. This is my TR7 V8, which is my pride and joy. I like to come over to Victoria to meet up with the other TR7 and TR8 people.
When I was young and the TR7 came out on the market, I did not like the car. And if somebody had told me then that in 40 odd years time I'd be racing around the track in one, I wouldn't have believed them. I love them now. We've got 4 TR7s. Yeah, my name's Shirley St John Cox.
My name is Ursula Wiedenmuller, and this is my Triumph TR6. If you're looking around at the car, you'll notice it's a left-hand drive car, so the steering wheel's on the other side. So that's quite a learning curve to get used to changing gears with your right hand. This car here's my husband's Barry, and we've got 2 cars to load and pack up, so there's a bit involved.
To be honest, when I'm sitting in dummy grid, I'm sitting there thinking, what the heck am I doing here? Nervous butterflies, but as soon as they let you out onto the circuit, that goes away and I have fun.
So this is action. Tension in the paddock, attention in the paddock. Last call, group 5. Last call, group 5 to dummy grid. Live. That was live.
Okay, this is the grid of the Triumph Challenge. It's Paul Hogan in the GT6, Keith Ondarchi, then Barry Pritchett in the TR6, then Paul, then Alana in the Stag. And I've never been inside a GT6 before. Listen to this thing go. Catching up to Peter Delmodes in the 2500 around the sweeper. 10. Approaching turn 11. This is Jim McNaughton in the little Spitfire. Very pretty little car. Jim's got his eyes open. See, it's well done, Jim. Well done. It's V8 straight. It's turn 1. Turn 2. And the old start finish. Now we call it the gantry. This is where Bill Revel had just done a head gasket in the TR3. Well, he didn't know it was a head gasket then. Approaching turn 11, I think this is Paul Burke in the Targa Tasmania 2500S. He won his class in this car this year. And it goes alright. Look at this. Good on you, Paul. First time on a track, actually. But a Targa Tasmania class winner. How good's that? Both Pauls. Paul Burke came down from Canberra to help celebrate this Triumph Challenge. It's Barry Pritchett in the TR6 in front. McNaughton. Well done. Bank corner. Where the old circuit would go straight on and the new part goes off to the left here, turn 10. They ended this about 10 or 12 years ago, I think. It's Peter Delmodes again. Obviously another run. Yep, Peter, number 7, yep. Turn 1. Old start finish gantry. This is Ursula in the TR6 left hand drive car. Not the inside. In the Triumph Challenge the cars are released in order of speed, so cars that Paul are passing are where the back markers, so towards the end of each run. That's a sweet car, Paul, my goodness. Yep. And giving it to it too. That's the V8 start finish. Turn 4. Beginning of the sweeper. It's sort of feathering the accelerator here to be safe, and Peter and Jim chasing each other. They actually had an absolute ball. Kevin McCluskey in the TR7 V8, he was having oil pressure issues. And that was the first time on track for many years for Kevin. We had a field of 20 cars, 3 from South Australia, one from the ACT. The rest for Victorians. From race cars to road registered Triumphs. Ursula had just got past there, she was having a problem. Thanks heaps, man. Till next year, eh? 2023. Be there.
A really good run. Car's still in one piece.
Came third. Took 3 seconds off the previous round, so that's really well.
Peter in the number 7 car, who's normally a little bit quicker than me, so I was able to get past him, and then I couldn't shake him. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Faster, just trying to keep up with you.
Oh, you're never happy because you can always make it better, but at least it's still going.
We had a rough day. The car's got COVID.
About a fairly slow practice session. People were being pretty wary about getting on the grass. I got out there in the midfield behind 3 V8 TR7s. 2 of them I weighed Neil past early in the piece because he's got a nice new super duper motor, and then I was chasing down the other 2 V8s and I managed to get past them on the hairpin, pull out a bit of a lead on them, came into the main straight, and then all of a sudden the revs just started going up and I realised the clutch was slipping and it was the end of my day. At least I got a bit of satisfaction 2 minutes beforehand. Car started in the late 60s as a Mark II Spitfire with a steel body and an 1147 motor. That was originally logbooked to Brian Sampson from Motor Improvements. And then there's a factory here in Melbourne which imported and assembled Triumph cars. They took ownership of the car and got factory backing for it. So anything that came out of the race department in England was available to them here. And the car was developed. Eventually it finished up with a 1300 motor. They crashed it in practice and they were going to write it off. But England said, no, we're still using it for advertising. We'll send you a new body. The whole body came in single panels. They gave the apprentice a pop rivet gun and a drill and put him in the corner for 2 months while he assembled the car in its present state. I was running a road-going Spitfire as a race car. I had my first race the day before my 21st birthday 55 years ago, and I used to race that car for about 3 years before I found that the factory was selling this one. Came over and took her back to Adelaide and promptly knocked about 3 seconds off the class record round Malala. I've had the car since 1971 and I've kept it as virtually as a museum piece and tried to keep it as original as I could. Phil Smith over here is part of my original pit crew from 55 years ago. So he comes to help me put my helmet on and help the general purpose things. When I turned 60, we put the car back on the track and I did about 3 meetings in Goulburn where they have a full race meeting for all Triumphs. Any sort of Triumph, it all goes in the same race. I bought a GT6 and I ran that 2 years. I thought, and it's the 60th anniversary of the Spitfire, so I thought the Victorians have another look at what they lost when I bought it off the Rod Carey from South Australia. I'm the proud owner of a very special Triumph Spitfire. I enjoy getting out on the track and just driving fast, and at my age you're quite happy to drive fast without being the fastest.
Dad always had a project car in our garage that he would be building and working on. So I would always be out there with him, helping him, passing him tools, which is now what Asher does for all of us, which is great. Dad bought a Triumph. I fell in love with Spitfires. and Dad and I actually rebuilt a Spitfire together when I was a teenager. This car became available. It's an ex-rally car, and I bought that nearly 15 years ago. So I've been on the track since then, having a ball. This is Asher, he's my #1 pit crew. Today he's started on the radios, which has been really good, learning about what we have to tell the driver. He does a lot of cleaning, he helps with the refuelling, he'll do all the wheel nuts, so he makes sure they're all tight before we go out onto the track. You check for all the fluids, don't you? So he's very needed. So Asher, what's your favourite thing about being pit crew this weekend? The racing, yeah.
Cleaning and polishing.
Cleaning and polishing. You do an amazing job with that. And what are you hoping to do when you grow up? A race car driver. And what are you doing now to try and become a race car driver?
Karting.
Go-karting. And who takes you go-karting?
Pa.
Yeah. Do you like being with Pa as well?
Yes.
Yep. So who else is in the family?
Uncle Al.
And Uncle Al as well. My uncle and his great uncle. To me, it's family. I've been part of the Triumph Sports Owners Association in Victoria since I was about 7 years old. So I've grown up with them, being around Triumphs, whether it's a concours, whether it's a race day, whether it's a motorcarna. To be able to do that with my family is even more special.
We all join a club for a specific reason. So you join a club because you've got a Triumph, you don't know anybody. 10 years down the track, the reasons you're in that club are not necessarily the car anymore. It's the people you know, it's the friendships you've made, it's the support you've got, you know, through all life. And that's what a lot of people find the club can be an umbrella.
Well, I live in Murray Bridge, so we've done the long drive over, and the fact you get to race against V8s and saloons, just the camaraderie of all people that appreciate Triumphs.
There are people that race, there are people that restore cars and go in car shows. Then we have Sunday drives and picnic days, and then other people are just social members.
That definitely means friendship. It means involvement. It means getting out and doing. You know, I can drive that car on my own anywhere. But to go to an event like this where I've got fellow Triumph nutters like me and talk about things, that involvement, that is a very big part of it. Yeah.
We're all, as females, treated with the same degree of respect as everybody treats everybody else.
The amount of support we get from people who don't drive, they're there just to support us. They give up their weekend just to help us.
Drivers and our club members are all getting older. And people who want to compete are getting fewer. So we do need younger people, introduce them to Triumph.
Yeah, passing on the knowledge, passing on the fun that you can have at the racetrack and the joy, even when things go wrong.
Well, I've got 2 grandsons and a son. I don't know what his long-term future will be, whether it ends up in the collector or who will appreciate it and maintain it. There are different motoring areas.
Like our age group, we still have that affiliation, but with younger ones, it's going to be difficult. It's something we just have to keep trying at.
The Triumph Challenge, we hope, will go out to the broader Triumph world. When I first explained it to the club of what I wanted to try to do, I had no idea that the club was going to, and I mean that, take this idea and expand on it and turn it into what it has become. All I wanted was to get as many Triumphs on a track.
There's members there I haven't seen for 2 or 3 years, but it's like you haven't seen them, but you know them. The All Triumph Challenge, rewarding, that's it, really rewarding. It's a wrap, as they say. It's a wrap. Right, so everybody can see. You've done a massive effort. Congratulations. Big round of hands for Brian. Well done, Barry.
Thank you very
much. Great effort.
What a top event. Look at those scores. Look how close those percentages are. It can't get much better. Well done, boys. Well done.
Thank you, Ian. Next trade. Well done at all.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
No words, just thank you very much. It was a great day. A couple of notes, because I think I have never done this before. I think this is fantastic for the club and for the march. Kippy and the team have just done a great job, like a great job. I want to do this.
So thanks to them, thanks to everyone that's turned up, thanks for enjoying yourselves. See you next year.
Yes.